Welcome to Transform with Taz. I'm your host, Dr. Teresa A. Smith, also known as Dr. Taz. This show is all about transformation. How do you transform your recipes? How do you transform your life? So we focus on feeding the body as well as feeding the soul. So every episode you'll find me in the kitchen, which is where I love to be, transforming a recipe from something that's good, that's not so good for us, to a healthier version. Well, today, let me tell you, we're gonna do a little cooking with banana pudding. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but we'll find out in just a moment. We'll get cooking. Well, today we're going to make banana pudding. I must tell you, my mother, when I was a little girl, she made banana pudding from scratch. Now, this is one thing I'm not going to make from real scratch, meaning she made that custard. And I had to stand there over the eye and just keep stirring. Because if you didn't keep stirring, the custard would begin to stick. And nobody wanted banana pudding where it had stuck, because, you know, that was going to be awful. But what we're going to do today is we're going to assemble this, and it's still from scratch, but we're going to do it the working girl's way. So what I have is 2 bananas. Now, I don't know how these bananas are going to turn out because they are real soft, but we're going to work our way through it. And because they are so soft, I am going to put on some gloves because they really kind of mushy, but I don't want to say that. But before I do that, it's like, oh. And this is the way it is when you're doing live TV or live shows with live broadcasts, social media. I need some milk. And I forgot to pull the milk out. So we're going to go over here to my refrigerator and we're going to get some milk. And here is the milk. Now, what I've already done is I had to wrap this up because I don't want to lead you to buy something that I perhaps shouldn't. But what I've done is I have already combined in here, in this bowl is some banana cream pudding, sugar-free of course, sugar-free. And I've also put 2 scoops of vanilla protein powder. Because I've had gastric sleeve surgery, I have to make sure I consume a certain amount of protein. So what I've learned to do is anywhere that I can add protein, I add protein. So I add it just about everywhere. I also added in here a teaspoon of cinnamon. That's what you see. And I also put a cup of artificial sweetener. I wanted to with that because people said, you put a cup? Yes, because artificial sweetener, it's not as potent. And I know what they say the equivalent is, but I don't really think it's that equivalent as it comes to the tasting of it. And so with my food, I eat so little, I have to make sure it has a taste. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add 2 cups of cold milk because that's needed for the pudding portion. So I'm going to pour up 2 cups of milk. Now I will say this, my milk has protein in it. Because like I said, I add protein everywhere I can. So I'm just going to pour in here 2 cups of milk. Okay. So we got the 2 cups of milk. Now, I felt a little something. I don't know how you want to explain that something. I felt something today. And I said, you know, I want to try something different. I mean, I'm feeling, because I've been making banana pudding, and every time I make it, I change it. But I'm like, I want something different. And so what I decided I was going to do was I was going to add a little pick-me-up to the banana pudding. Now, the custard part. Let me tell you, this is called cream, Irish cream. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Irish cream. I just felt like I needed a little Irish cream. And so I poured up, that's a half a cup of Irish cream. And so as I'm mixing this, because, when you're alive, I may not need what I think I'm gonna need, but I've just poured in here 1/4 cup of vanilla flavoring. Now you may say 1/4 cup, yes, because I gotta be able to taste the flavor. I'm not gonna use vanilla wafers, so I've got to really be able to taste this custard. And so what I'm going to do, there's a little bit left here of my cream. So I put that little drop in there. And so I'm going to stir this because this should begin to thicken. And I don't want to add just yet my other liquid because, who knows, it may not thicken, but it should thicken. It just takes a little moment for it to start thickening. And it really begins to set once it's in the fridge. Now I've done banana cream, sugar-free banana cream, and maybe pudding before, and it sets up pretty quickly. So what I'm gonna do is, while this is setting, I'm gonna move this to the side because we've got it mixed. And if I decide I wanna add some more liquid, then we'll add some. I'm gonna take my gloves. For those of you who were with me last time, my mother, when I talked to her, she was talking about you might need to put on some gloves. That may not sit well with them. And I'm like, she is not here and she's trying to direct my show. But that's how mama is. Now, as I said, my bananas have gotten overly ripe. They overly ripe. But I don't believe in just throwing away things that could be used. I didn't feel like making any type of zucchini bread or anything like that. I wanted nana pudding, as they would say. Now, it's so mushy. Now, understand, I realize that it's kind of mushy. You see it's mushy. So I'm peeling it slowly so I don't lose all of the banana or that meat there. But what I decided to do, because my bananas are on the mushy side, I decided that I was going to add texture. And so I'm going to add texture with walnuts and pecans. So that's where I will get the texture, because the bananas, oh, this one might want to peel nicely. They kind of on the soft side. So we're going to do it like this, okay? They're on the soft side. So we're going to have to be real careful with them because they just going to mush right up. But this is a good thing in a bad sort of way, but a good thing. It's good because bananas have a lot of sugar. And so the fact that they're now getting softer, that means that sugar should be really percolating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this here. I am going to use animal crackers and a protein cookie that I found. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to layer the animal crackers. And let's hope I got enough. We're going to layer the animal crackers. Now, Mama wants me to use my gloves, and I'm going to use my gloves only because those bananas are really, really soft. And I don't want to have to run back and forth to the sink washing my hands. I wash my hands all the time. And when I'm cooking something, I could go through a roll of paper towels because I've got to make sure my hands are clean. This is what cleanliness is next to godliness. So, I just got to make sure. Now, I'm taking my time kind of dropping these animal crackers. You don't have to do them that precise. I'm just dropping them here. I really want to cover the bottom. I just want to cover the bottom. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, put some bananas here. Now, as you see, they kind of mushy, but we're going to use them. Okay. And because they're sort of mushy, you see how that is real soft. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them on the thicker side. So that way they'll kind of hold their shape. Okay. This is what you call learning to adapt. Learning to adapt, because sometimes things just don't go your way. but you can adapt. See how that one want to pull apart on me, but we're going to adapt. Because you've heard me say that I've added this extra protein. The most important thing for me really is the pudding, because that's where I have put the extra protein. So the bananas, they are not the main star of this dish. Okay. So we're going to put a few bananas here and there. And because I'm going to try to do at least 2 good layers, we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to not put any more bananas there. We're going to go back to my pudding and see how my pudding is doing. Oh yeah, it's beginning to set up. It's beginning to set up. And I don't think I'm going to add any more liquid. I'm afraid if I add more, oh yeah, it's beginning to thicken. I'm afraid if I add any more liquid, it may not thicken the way I want it to, okay? Now, I know somebody said, won't you just add another container of cream, of banana cream? But I don't think so. You know, I'm looking at this. It's thickening. I may need to add just a little more sugar-free banana cream. It's, you know, it's just so tricky. You see now how it's trying to thicken up on me? But I just feel like it's not going to be thick enough. So I am going to add to this. They say don't try this at home. I'm going to add some more sugar-free pudding, but this is cheesecake. I know we're making banana pudding, but we're going to add a little cheesecake flavoring pudding to this. And now this will allow me to add a little more water, because I really needed some water to help dissolve the protein powder that I put in there. So now what I'm going to do is, and I'm greedy. What do you mean she greedy? I'm going to pour this water into the little dish that had the Irish cream. Then I'm going to pour it back over here where I had poured up the Irish cream. I measured it in that. And now I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup at a time, because I don't want my pudding to be too loose, but I don't want it to be too thick. I don't want it to be too thick. So we're going to mix it. We're going to mix it. Do you guys like banana pudding? Do you call it banana pudding? Or do you call it pudding? Nana pudding? What you call it? My sister, my middle sister, she made a banana pudding once that was just out of this world. Yeah, she can cook too. And it's really good. It's very rich. You know it's not low fat, nor low calorie, and it's not sugar free. So, but it's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit more water. I'm going to pour up another 1/2 cup, but I'm not going to add it all at one time. Okay? We're going to add about 1/2 of that. And then we'll see where we are, really about 1/3 of it. We'll see where we are, because in theory, I need it. But I kind of feel like, given the fact that my bananas are really ripe, that I've got to kind of walk between having just the right consistency with the pudding to make sure that it all holds together the way I want it to. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put this over here and we're going to let it continue to do what it needs to do. I'm going to go back to my gloves, because you know Mama have a fit. Did you wear gloves? Did you wear gloves? So we're going to do gloves. And what I'm going to do is I am going to now put a few of my walnuts in these little empty spaces. Like I said, you can never do it wrong. Well, should I put walnuts? It's whatever you want to do. You know, things don't always just go perfectly. So you learn to improvise. Okay, so we're going to put a little walnut there. Now I'm going to grab some of these other cookies. At the next break, I may have to get some more of my animal crackers, because I may be running out of crackers. See, I misjudged how much I was gonna need space-wise. But I don't need as large a container, but I may need it because of the pudding. But we hadn't gotten anywhere yet, so we're gonna see. All right, I put that down. Now we're gonna go back, add a few animal crackers. And like I said during the next break, I may have to get some more crackers because I don't think we're gonna have enough. I use animal crackers because they're not that sweet. You know, young children start out, a lot of them start out eating animal crackers. And so therefore the sugar content is not as much. Now I can hear somebody say, no, the sugar content's not that high, but what about the carb? Well, there's gonna be some carbs, I'm sorry. It's gonna be some carbs. But my nutritionist told me that you gotta eat some carbs. And so I said, really? She said, yeah, you gotta have some. So what you have to do is limit your carbs. Am I gonna eat all of this by myself? Absolutely not. There is no way. I will give some to my neighbors because this is not something that I can just give to my family because my family is not close enough. So to make sure that it doesn't go bad on me, what I will do is I will give some to my neighbors. And that will help me to make sure that, well, see, that one's not as bad, that things are, I don't eat all these carbs, just to be honest. I don't eat all these carbs. I do not eat all these carbs. So we put a little of this here. I know you're saying, my God, this is looking kind of messy. It is, but let me tell you something. I believe it's going to be good, though. What I want to do, I'm going to do some pecans because I felt a little pecans were needed. As I said, once I saw my bananas were so ripe, I'm like, you got to have some sort of texture. And that's one reason why I'm adding a little extra to my pudding. Because basically, this is banana pudding when the bananas are really, really ripe. And so that's not sure what this is going to turn out to be, but I know it's going to be good. The reason why, because we've got vanilla flavoring and we have Irish cream. Now let me see how my pudding is thickening. Oh yeah, it's thickening. It might be a little too thick on me. Oh, it might almost be a little too thick on me, considering what it's gonna have to do. So I'm gonna pour the rest of this in here. I'm not gonna put any more water. I'm not gonna add any more water, okay? Now you may say, why did you add water? I added water because I used the protein powder. I'd already added 2 cups of milk. So I'm adding water. I grabbed a few more animal crackers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour everything at one time. So we're gonna finish layering up. And this dish is really almost done. I'm gonna put some more animal crackers down. And as you can see, I'm not being fussy about this dish. You know, I found sometimes the best dishes are the ones that you don't get pretentious with. What I mean by that, you don't have to be so particular all the time, because I am very particular. But we're just gonna layer this. I'm gonna move us through this. We're gonna put these bananas here that are very, very ripe. Because this is the last of them. Oops, we don't put that one on top of that, but at least won't do that. Because I believe just about every bite, somebody at least get one banana. You can't have everything in life. So we got one little banana left in here. We gonna get him. He trying to hide. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He just fell apart on us, but that's okay. So we've used those 2 very, very ripe bananas. I'm just gonna go ahead, sprinkle the rest of my pecans here. Get that out of our way. I'm gonna go back here now, and I'm just gonna spread the cookies. I'm not gonna be fussy about them. I'm gonna take the rest of the cookies, and we're just gonna move them all over. I'm gonna grab some walnuts. Just gonna spread my walnuts. And we're going to see what we've got here. Okay. We're going to now pour our pudding. You know, this is live. She says live. It's live. Now the question is, do I want to add a little water? Because I want to make sure I got enough pudding. Let's just see here. Take this knife. And what I'm going to do is kind of make sure that pudding gets in between them little crevices there. That'll get in between the crevices. Get in between the crevices. Now know that the longer this sits, these crackers will break down. The animal crackers and the cookies will break down. Now, I see that we're getting in between the crevices, but I'm going to do a little old trick. I need to see, oh, we're not getting in between there like I want. I need to make sure that the pudding is really getting on the bottom. Sometimes I will layer with a little bit of pudding on the bottom and then I'll start layering. But I didn't do that this time because I wasn't quite sure if my pudding was the way I wanted it. You remember I added some cheesecake, sugar-free. I have put all of our pudding into our casserole dish, and just because I got them here and the fact that walnuts are high in protein, I'm going to just sprinkle these last ones over here because again, we need some texture because basically we've got a few really, really soft bananas and we've got some crackers that are going to get soft also. We've got the protein cookies and then we've got animal crackers. So what I want to do is I'm going to call Mama and let her know that it didn't go quite the way I anticipated going. And we'll give a little taste test while I got Mama on the phone, if I can get her on the phone. Because, you know, she lived a busy life. She's just so busy. Let's see if we can get her on the phone.
Hello.
Hey, Mama.
Hey, daughter.
How you doing?
I'm good, girl.
Can you move away from all those people? That's a lot of background noise. I can't have them on the show. What you say, isn't it though? Yeah, that's a lot of background noise. Yeah, because I'm going to put you on speaker. I can hear all that background noise. You on speaker now.
Oh, no. What's she going on about that Christmas time?
You hear my sister in the background trying to, this is real life. This is real life. I want y'all to understand how it be. My sister said she going on about that cooking show. Now she know I'm cooking. And she know I'm taping my segments. And now she know I'm going to be calling. And look, like every time I try to reach Mama, she's always at the house. I just don't know what's going on with this. Now let me tell you what I did, Mama. I made banana pudding. And my bananas were so ripe. They were it was almost mashed potatoes. Yeah. I know. I know you would say I should have just let that go and got something else. They had almost turned to mashed potatoes. So what I decided,
should have made a smoothie.
I didn't want a smoothie, Mama, but I did add protein powder, so I could have made a smoothie. So what I did was I used, of course, the sugar-free banana cream, and I added my protein powder, and then I went back and added some sugar-free cheesecake pudding. But I also decided, you know, in addition to adding my milk, and I put some vanilla flavor, because you know how that is with me. Oh, and I put some cinnamon. I decided, you know, some people say they be feeling freaky or Ricky. I don't know. You know, my sister could tell me what the word is. But anyway, I needed to pick me up. So I decided to add some Irish cream. You know what I'm talking about? You said, do you know what Irish cream is, Mama?
What is Irish cream?
Why you be saying, you don't know what I'm talking about? You don't even know what it is. Irish cream. So I added some Irish cream. It's a liqueur.
Okay.
You with me on that liqueur now, right, Mama?
Yeah, I think that's what you were talking about, something in that.
Mama is
In that range when you said you need to pick me up.
Oh, okay, Mama. Yeah, it's Irish cream. I can't tell you the brand that I use, but it's Irish cream.
Okay.
So now, even though you're not here, and I'm told them about how I had to keep stirring your cream, your pudding when you used to make banana pudding from scratch, and I had to stand back there and stir. Well, you know, I didn't make it that type of scratch, but I did put all this together. So I thought, in honor of you, oh, I forgot to tell you, I added, or maybe I told you, I got walnuts and pecans too. I didn't chip them up, you know, they're whole because I needed a crunch. And so I just assembled this. Now, of course, it's going to get softer. The cookies are going to get softer. I use animal crackers. They're going to get softer once it's finally set up good. But I wanted to taste it with you in honor of you and the fact that I had to stand there. Keep stirring. Don't let it stick. Keep stirring. Because
don't let it stick. Yes.
since you used to be yelling that at me, well, I shouldn't say yelling. Yeah, you see, yeah, you agree. Yeah, you be yelling that at me. So I thought I would taste this with you on the phone. So I'm going to taste some now. I'm going to try to find some of these soggy, with these mashed potatoes, bananas. But since I can't find one of them, I'm just going to take the pudding and I'm going to take, oh, that's a lot of background noise. That was just your house. I'm going to take the pudding and I'm going to eat a walnut.
Okay.
Good God Almighty.
Good, huh?
Mama.
Oh, boy, I'm glad it's good.
Mama.
I wish I could taste it.
Mama, I tell you, honey. You know I can't duplicate this. You know, the person that I community that said, you know, I often imitate it, but you can't duplicate this. This is good. And the Irish cream is good. It's not too much. So once these animal crackers and these little protein cookies that I got in here, once they start to break down, and this pudding,
it's really gonna be good,
honey, please. And that pudding continues to thicken. This is good. This is good. This make you want to do that little stuff with your shoulders and everything. This is good. You know, ooh, it's good.
I can use that little pick-me-up right now.
You need that little pick-me-up. Well, I tell you, I try to get you some. Well, I'm going to tell you, who knows, I might have to pop up at your house with some of this because this is good.
All right.
And I do want you to taste it. So this is not your banana pudding, as folks would say. But I tell you, with this little pick-me-up, you don't even miss the fact there's no sugar. So, Mama, let me go ahead. No, ain't no sugar here, Mama. You know I don't cook with sugar.
Oh, yeah, no sugar. Oh, yeah. With no sugar, we need that little pick-me-up in there.
That Mama is crazy. Said with no sugar, you're going to need that little pick-me-up. Yeah, because there's no sugar, Mama. And you know I use my milk.
You need that pick-me-up.
And you know, you can use fat-free milk or 2%, because you know my milk, I've always liked fat-free, and you like, why you drink that fat-free? Because I like it. So, yeah, you're right. With that fat-free or 2% milk, you need a little pick-me-up. Okay, well, I'll talk to y'all later, Mama.
Okay, then.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, you've heard it from me and Mama. This is good. And once this pudding sets and these animal crackers and those little protein cookies start to soften, I'll really be doing that dance then, because then it will just have blended together and it's going to be good because it's good now. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Transform with Toz. If you would like to be a part of this show, you can be. If you would like to send me a recipe, all you have to do is send me a recipe to transformwithtoz@gmail.com. Put in the subject, recipe. Make sure you include your name, first and last, your city and your state, and include the recipe. And I will be happy to take a look at your recipe and see if I can transform it. And you never know, your recipe may be chosen to be a part of the show. As always is my sign off. You cannot take care of anyone else until you learn to take care of you. So as always, make sure you take care of you. Bye now.